Hey, gang, yeah, leading with the dinosaur this time. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit different. You might have noticed the content's been a little slow lately, and yeah, there's a reason. And no, it's not something like the game is unplayable. Well, at least not for me. I know others' mileage may vary on that front. Actually, the game's been pretty good. Even the early bad 4.0 preview patch. I've bumped into a few weird issues. I've had the same problems like with servers not loading in or elevators not showing up. But by and large, I guess I've been pretty lucky. I've mostly been able to log in almost every single day playing about an hour or so. And so, no, in my case, it's more about the things that are happening in my real life. So I have a new puppy. My work is transitioning back to part-time in office, so we're kind of going hybrid after a long time of being totally work from home. So I have less time to write up scripts or come up with ideas like on my lunchtime when I'm actually driving and commuting to and from work, and a variety of house projects, which, damn, maybe I should split off a channel about that. Huh. Where was I? Right, stay the channel. Anyways, I know content's been light from my side, and there's a reason for that, but I still have some goals, the same goal of knocking out at least one vid a week. Most of those will definitely be Star Citizen related. This is still primarily a Star Citizen channel, but there might be a few ideas out there that I'm kicking around that aren't. I still think this will be an interesting year for Star Citizen, but I'll get there in a bit. For one, Subnautica 2 is rolling out. I never did play Space Marine 2, which is another thing on my radar, which I'll tell you what, if Star Citizen sort of stays in this state for another month, I might be jumping over to that one. But anyway, Subnautica 2, in theory, is rolling out to early access this year. And I'll definitely be checking that out. Whether that's on this channel or not really depends on how far they're telling us the live version is. If it's going to be dropping sometime this year, that might be an end of the year thing. If not, maybe we'll just kind of do the demo and sort of see what it looks like. And there's a couple other games on my radar, but more on that when they get closer to production. But for right now, outside of the IRL things, this channel's mostly going to focus on Star Citizen and its development. But I also want to try my hand at some light machinima, or I guess you could call it role-playing or like a Zero to Hero. But I'll really just do a setup for a story to start with, and then it'll just be me and a few of the gang from the Carnival just doing a thing on that theme. Maybe. Anyways, that's Pariah, and it should be rolling out shortly. Hopefully real shortly, because I'm hoping to catch the Save Stanton wave and kind of use some of those missions to generate ideas or generate places to go within Pyro. So watch for that. If I'm not rolling that out in about a week or two, well, just wait longer. So anyone who's followed this channel for any length of time knows that I'm not really given to extremes. I tend to try to keep things in the middle, to keep a realistic view of this project, both good and bad. But that still holds true. But I don't think it's a stretch to say that the last year or so, really since probably 320, has been a bit rough for this project. First, it was CIG unable to really stuff the singular server the game was using with any more stuff. And so they were totally focused on polishing or moving in just bare minimum quality of life things. Then it was the refocus on Squadron 42 to get it out the door. Now it's seemingly that, Squadron 42, combined with trying to get the elusive server meshing working. For my part, I think it's pretty safe they'll get it working, and probably soon. But I'd be an idiot if I said the road here, well, there, really, since it isn't quite working yet, hasn't been a rocky one. Also, for anyone who's followed this channel, I try to come up with original ideas, original topics, fresh stuff, or at least fresh takes on old stuff. It's not that I think reaction channels are bad, it's just never really been my style. So where am I going with this? With Todd Pappy gone, Richard Tyre and Benoit have really become the faces of the production for this project. I like Richard and love his enthusiasm, but he's a lot like Chris, that when he talks, he's talking about what the vision for the project is 2, 5, maybe even 10 years down the line. Most of what he says is aspirational, although I'm sure he has no doubt CIG can pull it off. It's not disingenuous enthusiasm, I guess is what I'm saying. But if you want the straight talk, the kind that Todd Pappy used to give, honestly, yeah, that's more Benoit's bag. So this 2-hour ISC tomorrow kind of feels like an inflection point for this project. There's been a rough few patches in a row, and even the typically positive content creators that I watch at least seem to be getting a little salty. I'll see how it goes and what he says, and then, yeah, if it's heavy on the real, no BS answers, I'll do a reaction to it. Probably an edited one, but there you go. I'll just kind of talk about what I think the major points were, my takeaways, that sort of thing. I don't think that this talk will be make or break, but I do think it will be pretty impactful either way. Really, I'm just hoping for realistic expectations and a no corporate doublespeak of what's actually going on. Obviously, meshing's been more of a bear than they thought it was going to be. Or maybe it's exactly the bear they thought it was going to be. I don't know. But yeah, that, and I wouldn't mind seeing something of a timeline, maybe not in this talk, but pretty soon. The servers were their last big pillar, the last piece of blocking tech they had to solve before they could get this ball rolling. Well, it looks like it's mostly solved and the ball is mostly rolling. So I would hope that would mean they could come up with a timeline of sorts, at least some sort of plan that they could share with us. And by plan, I mean, we're going to do this loop, which means these features, these mini games, and then do that for all the loops they plan on rolling out. And then say, we're doing this loop first, then this one third. This thing builds off of this thing builds off of this thing builds off of this thing. This is what the final plan should look like if everything goes according to plan. Of course, we know that in-game development, things rarely go to plan, but at least we would know that there is a plan the development is going off of. And what I want to know is that it's just more than just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's what I'm hoping for anyways. So what about all of you? So let me know down below what your kind of expectations for this talk are tomorrow, or even this is coming out pretty late in the day. So let me know what you think of it after the talk and as I'm editing the show. Also, if there's any topics you want me to cover in the next few months, throw that down there too. I'm always down for more shallow dive ideas. And that's all I got for this one. So keeping it short and sweet. Be safe out there. Catch you next time.